Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So it is the 1st of April. This is not an April Fool. This is Stamp Around UK. So the 1st of every month at 6 o'clock UK time, me and a bunch of other UK demonstrators do a video hop. And down below, there'll be links to everybody else who's taken part in today's video hop. And our theme for April is favourite technique. Always find it really hard to narrow down to, what's my favourite, because it does tend to change week by week. But one thing that I do love to do, I'm not sure if it's a technique, but I'm going to call it a technique. I like vintaging. Hard to say. So I like taking something that's not vintage and making it look old. So I have made a few things here and made them look old. So for the basis of each one of these are 6x6 colour family papers. So I've used the neutrals. And I've used some of our wonderful stamp sets and created something that looks old. So this is, I know that's upside down when you turn it round, but my idea for this is that it's going to get stuck on 3 sides on a journal page, and it's going to create a pocket. If I just get, this is a journal I made, just a little mini notebook really, that I made the other day. And we get it up the right way and open up a page, so that could get stuck down, maybe not there, the colours don't really go, and then that would be a pocket, as well as opening it up and having just some secret journaling in there. If you're like me and you don't like handwriting, I'd rather journal in something that's hidden away rather than something that is on show. And then I've just done a little clasp there to hold it in place. So the vintaging thing is to turn the paper into something that looks old. This is just a variation. I just added a little sort of like policy envelope closure there. Again, it's upside down on the back. So, and again, this one's got a little bit more paper there, just shoved in. But I stamped it so that it would be upright on the inside. So I did think about the stamping that I was doing. So that was one 6x6 sheet there to create that. Then I used another 6x6 sheet and created this sort of fold out pocket there with a couple of tags. So I went with smoky slate paper there to create this, and lots of the different stamps to create that. So that could go, if I bring that in again, on a bigger journal, maybe not one this size, that could just go round the corner of a page like that. It could just get tacked in, and then you've got somewhere to journal. Or if, like this one, you've got a nice big pocket like that, you could just pop it in the pocket that you would then pull out and have something pretty to write on. And then lastly, I've done a bit of a it's like a specimen slide there, and a little put a space on the back there for journaling. Add a bit of number there and just a little bit of scrawl. I sort of imagine if you were looking at the specimen, the scientist might write some notes. So that's the other thing I made. Probably won't show you how I made all of these. I might do subsequent videos on these individual bits, but what I'm here today to show you is how I made the paper look as old as it does here. Just some fun with some stamp sets. So I'm going to take out one of the sheets here. So I'm going to go for, I think I'm going to go for this sheet here. Yeah, I'm going to go for that one. because I used Sahara sand on that one. So I'm going to use crumb cake on that one. So you can just sort of see a bit of the difference. And, oh, a little bit of a handle there. And the stamp sets that I'm using, you might have guessed, I'm using Ranunculus Romance. I just love every element in this. They're just so lovely. I like the little script there from Very Versailles. I do like to use the little dottage there that sort of makes paper look like it's got age spots. I'm using this here, and I'll show you how I'm using that. Quite ingenious. I think that's supposed to be like a skeleton leafy bit, but I'm using it in quite a different way. You might have noticed I've used this bit of the label there. I have used the butterfly there for the specimen card and the dies to cut it out, and I got the numbers from this set. So quite a lot of sets there. Just use what you've got, have a little play, see what you come out with. So I'm going to bring up a little bit of scrap paper. So I like to use my sort of neutral palette here with this one. Early Espresso, Soft Suede, Crumb Cake, Sahara Sand might make an appearance. On the grey ones that I did, I used Basic Grey, Smoky Slate and Grey Granite, but I'm not going to use those today. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to show you how I use that, what I said was kind of like a skeleton leaf. I'm going to show you how I did that. So we're just going to do a sheet of paper and then see what time we've got left to maybe make one of the items. So what I did with this was I just went round the edges of the page. So we often ink round the edges to give a sort of an aged look, but I quite liked the look of this going round the edges. It reminded me of a stamp set we had a few years ago. I've still got it because I don't get rid of sets. I'm doing both sides because most of the things I make we are seeing both sides of. And it just got that sort of age look, as if it was wallpaper in a damp house and like the dampness is rising up. That's sort of the look I was thinking that we were having with this. And it doesn't bother me that you've got darker and lighter. In fact, that just sort of adds to the whole sort of feel of it. So there's that going on. So now I want a bit of age dots going on there. So I might get a bit of crumb cake for me agey dots. So that's the one from Quiet Meadow. I like this. Going around. Now tonight I'm filming this ahead of time. I'm filming this on the day that as Stamping Up demonstrators we get to see the new annual catalogue. So it might be, sadly, that some of these stamps that I'm using will be retiring, which I will be very sad about if they go. So this won't be their swan song though, because I've still got another month to use them. So even if I'm losing my favourite Very Versailles, been in the catalogue a while, might happen, I can still use it. Well, to be fair, I'm going to use it forever. It won't be going anywhere. But yeah, so just, I kind of forgot what I was doing and I kind of covered the whole lot in spots. I don't normally do that, but just sort of randomly go around. So liking that. So now I'm going to do a bit of, I've got script from Very Versailles and I've got that lovely ledger thing from the Ranunculus Romance, which I really, really like. I think I might go back in with a bit of Soft Suede on this one and Early Espresso on that one. So what I like to do with this one is ink it up, and then I take my paper to it, and then I just press in random bits, and then that way you just get a little bit of an impression. You don't get masses, and I do like the way that looks. So I'm not doing the other side just yet because I've got to think about what I'm making. So if this is going to be an envelope, not that you can really tell with this print, but you would want that to be the top and that to be the bottom, and then the writing is up the right way. So you would want this to be up the right way for when it's opening, which is actually upside down. So we can do the other side in a bit. So I'm going to concentrate on this side just. So I'm going to do, I've got a feeling Sahara Sand's not going to come out very, very dark. Let me try it. Because sometimes it's quite nice to have it really sort of faded. So let's put a bit of that there. Yeah, I quite like that. Sort of sinking a bit into the background. Sort of going to go down as if it's a continuous bit. Doesn't matter that it's not straight, but you can just faintly see that. Quite like that as a, and I don't mind that it goes over the text that's already there. That's cool. Just put that over there for now. And then I really like the sort of border that we've got, and I kind of do this in the same way as I did the script. I'm just inking it up, and I don't want a whole great big border going across, so I sort of pick a bit there, it's not got much on it, and just press it, and then you just get a little hint of it there. And I just love the fact that you've got so much freedom to just do what you want. You never know what you're going to get. Just keep going until you think the page is full enough. And you can, like with that border, it doesn't have to be the same way. You can go the other way with it. So liking that. So that's really cool. And then the other thing we've got is that beautiful floral, which is actually on the other side of this, that I think that looks quite nice on this. Now I'm not sure what's up the right way. I think I did those bits up the right way and they're now upside down. So it's kind of non-directional, and that's something that you can do. I could make this a non-directional pattern. Let's do that because I haven't done that yet. Let's have non-directional, so we can have this coming in anywhere. What you can do with this is, like you did the other, I just want a bit of a flower in there. You can just press it down and you just get a little bit of a flower there without the whole print. So that's quite cool. So that is what I call vintaging. You can now come in with a blending brush, and what have I got here? Soft suede, and we can come in the edges and add a bit more distress to it to give it an even bigger old look to it. And then I might come in the centre with a bit of crumb cake. I do mix my browns. I sometimes like brush them out a bit. So that looks like a nice old sheet now. And you can add some stamping once you make what you make. So now I've decided to do this non-directional. I'm going to stamp on the other side, but I might speed this up a bit. So that's my sheet done, all a bit vintaged it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, because this is fairly straightforward and fairly quick. So it is simple bit of scoring, just using the one sheet. Don't think it matters which is the front and which is the back. So they're upside down round the wrong way, and that doesn't really matter either. So we're going to score at 3, quarter turn, and score at 2. Quite simply. You could, if you don't like measuring, I know lots of people that do sort of junk journals, don't measure. I like things to be precise, and I also like, if you want to recreate it yourself, that I give you the measurements so you can do it. But you can just fold in half and then sort of judge how far up there you want to make it. What you will find, oh, I didn't do that very well, is that you will have a little bit of protrusion, because of this bit here, that these end bits will come over a little tad. You can just trim that down if you want to. I might just do that. So I'm just going to bring in my little mini guillotine, and then that will take away any little imperfections that I've done, so that that is now straight there. Okay, so that doesn't look very straight. In fact, it looks a little bit off, but it is actually straight, Jez. Yep, that's okay. I've obviously got a wonky eye. So, and then what you can do is just ink round the edges. I don't like to see a white core, so I like to, there's my soft suede, I like to just go around the edges, because like a lot of paper, it's got a white core, so I'll just ink round the edges here. This needs replacing. I think I've got a better one. So I'll go around all 4 sides. Of this. So, and you can go down the middle as well. Always like to do that. I did recently do a project with no ink in, which is very rare for me. Very rare indeed, because I do like to get inky. But I also wanted to show that you could do things without ink in and they still look nice. Because I know not everybody is into the vintage. It is my favourite. Vintage shabby chic, that sort of thing. I love it. So there we go. I'm not going to ink round this bit just yet, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch some thumb holes. So I've got my 1.5 inch circle punch here, and I might do it so that they're even. So I've just folded it in half, so those edges are there, so they'll actually be in the same spot. I'm eyeballing it so that there's equidistance that way and that way, either side of the punch. And then we'll punch, achoo, achoo, and we'll sneeze. And so then we've got our little thumb holes there. So now I can ink round the top of this to make them a little bit more obvious. Not that they're necessary, I think they're quite decorative, but probably not necessary because it's pretty obvious it's a pocket. But I think it's nice to have the edges there done. Okay, you can, if you want to, round corners and things. I'm going to leave it non-rounded. Okay, and then we're just going to do a little bit of a bead of glue up each side. You can do the middle if you want, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to get folded. So, and you might want to sew this in a signature as well, which is also a possibility. So I'm just going to do a little bit of Tombow just along, there we go, just along the edge there and along the edge there. And that will just glue up there, glue up there. Oh, there. Should have left me dirty mat. Never mind. I know that's what these mats are for, but I do like them to last more than one project, really. So that's that bit. So now we want to decorate. So if you can see on that, I've decorated with those flowers. So let me just show you that these are ones I prepared earlier in true Blue Peter style. So I've used my scan and cut on this. There is a die that cuts it out. Yes, so you've got a die that would cut it out, and it cuts it out and leaves a border like that one. I was using my scan and cut for something, so I just cut them out, and I actually wanted them without a border. I've done that one with a border, and I quite like them without a border. So I cut that one out, and I thought that would look quite nice on the front as I've done with N. So that's been stamped in early espresso, and then I've just you can't cut the middle sections out, so I thought that was very cool, liked that. And then I've got a load of these that I stamped and cut out. There is a die for this, but for the most part I cut them out by scissors, but as I had me scan and cut out, I decided I'd cut them out, so I got a bit of that. And then I used on that one the doilies from, what are they called, Heart and Home. So the grey went nicely with that. Obviously with this one, they don't match quite so well, but the backside is white, so you can colour them quite nicely. Or you can use Encircled in Beauty and cut your own, which I have got a stock of, so I'm going to look them out. And then, as you can see, I've used this die here, this stamp even, and made my own sort of little border. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get a little strip. I often have these little strips, but I quite like the fact that I've ripped it. So let me get another little scrap where I can rip it down so that it's not even. That'll do. I'm not going to use that. So let's have a look at what this is like. I stamp that on there, and I like that it's not even. I think that adds nicely to the vintage look, so that's what I've used to sort of cover it. And so bits had ink off and bits didn't have ink off, which I think works really, really well. So I've got a metal ruler, and I'm just gonna put that along there and give it a rip so that it's got a rough edge. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Easier to rip more off than less off, so we'll go there, rip all the rip, and then we need to rip the ends as well, although it's going to get ripped off where I need it, so I'm not going to worry about the ends for now. So we want a bit of ink in along the edges. So this is soft suede again, like that. So that's nicely along there. And I do like the look of a doily, and I've got some prepared earlier, so I'm just going to get those. Okay, so these are the doilies. So I love this one. I like the size of it, and I can cut it out of different colours. And so this is tea dyed paper, and this is brown paper packaging. So yeah, like I think they work well. Saves you buying lots of doilies, and you've got different sizes here that you can use. So let's decide which ones go in on here. So I quite like this brown paper packaging. Does fit the colour quite nicely, but it's maybe getting a bit lost. And then this one is quite light, but that means it shows up. So it's a bit better. I thought I was skew width, but it's my iPad that was skew width. I have a software where I can see. So quite liking that. Now some of these are cut so that they're a bit torn at the top. So there, I think if I'm gonna cut it in half, then I might use that one so I can cut that bit off. I think I'm going to go for that one. So I'll put these in my stock. And I quite like to add a little bit of interest to this. I like to give it a bit of a ink in, and then I use it like as a template. So I kill two birds with one stone, ink the edges a little bit, and then you get a bit of the pattern coming through. That didn't come through very well. It probably needs a bit more ink on it, to be honest. And then we'll try that one again. And there we are, it's a bit better. You can see more ink there actually coming on the doily. So hopefully that will go down there. So it's a little bit subtle, but there is some markings there. Might put some on the back because I'm probably not going to cover the back. So there we are. You can see it come out there a little bit better. And I'll probably put a little bit of stamping across it as well. There, liking how that's looking. And then where is my script? Probably got a bit of that left. Bit of ink left on there. Yeah. So I think that's going to look grand. Build up our bits that's going to go on. I've got my little label there. Let's give that a little bit of colour on it. So this was basic white, stamped in early espresso. Now I'm inking over with soft suede. So let's give that a little cut across. There we go. Probably leave that in my scraps. Sometimes you just need a little scrap of something. So that fits perfectly there on a 3-inch wide thing. So that's going to go across it. So I can rip a bit off there. And rip a bit off there. And then let's just, that was early espresso. That's okay by me. So that's going to go on there like that. We'll put our flower there. I might put the flower, actually, I put it behind in the other one. I might leave it in front. I might need to rip that down a little tad. Put that there. Yeah, liking that. Let's have a little skeg at that being behind. I don't know, I think I quite like the hint of this being behind. Yeah, but we do need a little bit of this off. It was too long. Yeah, that's better. Right, so let us check it's up the right way, because that would be a disaster. Now I've left the lid off this. Let's hope it hasn't all dried out. No, it hasn't. So put this. Get the dry baby wipe. I do like it when I use my blending brush that we just go around the edges and you get different sort of an ombre effect. You can see where. What I found was I did try stamping. I think that was soft suede, and the Scan and Cut didn't really pick it up. I could have drawn round it, but it picked up early espresso perfectly. Might have put a bit too much glue on that. Stick that on, and then we just need to add the tags. And then I've got to decide, do I want it on the border, or shall I, for this one, put it under? Can't decide. Might do half and half. There we go. Let's meet halfway and go half and half. Oh, and I did on the back of this, I did put one on the back, so I might do that again. So for the tags, I took a bit of basic white. I'm just going to trim it down, and as I did before, I just stamped all over it. So I'm going to do that a bit speeded up, and I cut these labels out of it as well. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So there it is, finished. So I just added those to the inside, and you saw how I vintaged that basic white. And you can see I managed to get a bow out of that one. I only managed to get half a bow out of that one, but you know what, I don't mind. I quite like it the way that is. There'd be room to put other things in those pockets as well. And so there it is in the grey. Used a different ribbon for that, and I added, oh, I quite like that, I forgot about that, I added some stamping across there as if it was a border. So you've got sort of other options that you could do. I might do that, quite like it, might do that and put that in the photos. And I'll bring you another video on the making of these as well. So down below are all the links to the other participants in this video hop, and see what techniques they're going to do. And I shall link to all the items that I've used, which take you straight to my shop if you wish to purchase any of these things. And we'll see you all again on the 1st of next month. And I'll be bringing you these videos very soon. I do a junk journaling series on a Wednesday, so these could be the next Wednesday's project. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe.